Hi everybody, it's Alex and we are back again for a Fitter Body Ladies podcast. So it's been quite a few weeks since we've done one, lots of things going on with the gym, personal things, holidays, seeing people, children off on holiday, all that sort of thing. So we're back and today we are joined by Ben. And now Ben I have known probably for around about 6 or 7 years. Doesn't seem that long, but it is. That's a long time now. Is, yeah. I think the COVID thing kind of makes everything a bit crazy. Yeah, and Ben is a sports therapist. Yes. Okay. He does some work for us. He runs some classes for us. He does our stretching class, he does our mobility class, and he does a basics of lifting class, which is going down a treat. And everybody says, "Can we have some more?" And then Ben, "Can we have some more?"
Maybe.
He's busy with his own job. No, but Ben has his own business. It's called BG Fitness.
So BG Sports Therapy.
BG Sports Therapy. And you are, how long have you been doing it? How long have you been a sports therapist for?
I graduated in November 2015. So pretty much from 2016 onwards, I've been doing this, worked for several businesses, several companies, Milton Keynes, Northampton, and then went solo on my own 2019.
So just before the pandemic.
Yeah, six months before.
Okay.
So in hindsight, it wasn't ideal, but we've come through at the other end, and we're smashing it. So
fab.
All good.
What made you, or what was the kind of for you to say, right, I want to do sports therapy? What was it that kind of interested you?
The truth would have been, I realised I was never going to be Steven Gerrard. To be honest.
Okay,
and
so
I was
we're living that dream of wanting to be a footballer.
Yeah, pretty much. And then realising actually I'm not that good. So it was never going to happen. So I wanted to stay in sport. So initially the idea of sports therapy was perfect. So I could go and do pitch side, and I could go to games, and I could still be involved within a team.
And did that happen?
Yeah, a little bit. I quickly realised actually I don't want to do that anymore. And I would rather be in a clinic setting or in a gym-based setting, and work that way, because it's a lot more personal, and I just enjoy it a lot more, to be honest.
Okay.
So yeah.
But was there was it like, okay, did you want to work in a particular sport, or did you find that you were like, no, actually I quite like multi-sport type?
No.
Or multi-
I'm not a massive rugby fan. I'm not a really big cricket fan. So it was football.
It was a football
or
nothing.
Yeah, pretty much. And I did work for a couple of football clubs, which was good. I enjoyed it, but like I said, it's more personal when you've got someone in one-to-one and you've got an hour with them that your whole attention is on them, and that's what I prefer. I think it's better for the patient. I think it's better for myself. I can solely dedicate everything to them. So that's why I enjoy it a bit more. Okay,
so what does a typical day in Ben's life look like then? How many kind of patients?
Now a nice healthy breakfast. So I'd probably say around anywhere between 8 to 12 patients a day.
Okay.
And it can vary from they're not, just because it's sports therapy doesn't mean it's a sport related injury that the people have come in for. It can be occupational, it can be anything. So anything from neck pain to big toe pain, to be honest, and anything in between.
And do you have one that you kind of see regularly, like, and is it something that happens to a certain, like, for example, is it something because people sit more?
Yeah. So I would say probably it's a fine balance between neck and shoulders and lower back. They're probably the two that are the most common, and I think 9 times out of 10 the reason why is because people are so sedentary with their work. So we tend to sit down for 8 hours a day. We tend to commute to work, which is sitting down. We tend to sit down at work. We don't really get up because we're under a lot of stress to do our job. And then we sit back down in the car to get home. And then we sit at home because we're knackered. Yeah. And then we've not done anything. So it's something like we see in our line of work is this hunch shoulders. 100%. Hunch shoulders. Yeah. So it's trying to help people to what sort of things can people do to try and improve that posture, basically, isn't it? So I've got quite a controversial point on posture.
Oh, go on then.
Personally.
I like controversy.
So I don't necessarily think it's the position you're in that causes the problem. I think it's how long you're in it for that causes the issue.
Okay.
So for instance, if obviously I know I might be on camera now, but if I drop my chin to my chest, it's quite a nice stretch for my upper neck and from in mid back. But if I'm in there on my phone for 2 hours, then it's going to hurt. So it's not the position I'm in, it's how long I'm in it for that causes the issue. So same as if you get pain when you're driving, it's not the driving that's causing the pain, it's because you're in that static position for an hour, 2 hours, and you've just not moved out of it. So all the muscles having to grip hold of you to keep you there. And that's what causes the maybe the pain and discomfort.
So moving and changing the position.
100%. So my advice would be to anyone that works behind a desk or does a lot of driving or anything like that, every sort of, it's easy for me to say, but every 45 minutes or every hour, try and get up for 5-10 minutes and do something.
Just change your posture, change
your
position.
There are, I mean, you can buy little things that like little timers.
Yeah.
Every 45 minutes they go off.
Put
and that's, and that's if you've got like a smartwatch, they will help to, they have like, for instance, on my watch, it pops up and says, you've sat down too long, get up and move. And it's just a little indication to move, basically.
Okay,
so,
cool.
Yeah, it's quite helpful.
That is a very good point. You can start moving a bit more.
That's it, move.
Move a bit more.
Movement is key,
yes.
I like to say. So just keep moving and everything will feel so much better.
Perfect. So obviously we have ladies who come to us. They may have injured themselves. Or often we get, that's tweaked while I'm doing something. Or, today this hurts. A bit sore from here. When do you suggest, so obviously they come to us and we will say, look, we're not doctors, physios, whatever, we can't make recommendation, but obviously we would say rest it, and then if it continues to hurt, then you probably need to see somebody. How long and what sort of rest should people be doing, and at what point do you personally think somebody should then say, actually, this isn't quite right?
It's not going away.
Yeah, it's not going away.
I think it's important to know that, differentiation of pain. So things like DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, where you will do a workout if you've not done it for a while, and then all of a sudden, like 3 days later or 2 days later, you're in absolute bits because it just hurts. That's different to pain. So I would say. So
why does DOMS happen?
So because essentially you've changed the stimulus that the body's not used to. So essentially what you've done is all of a sudden. So I'm not a runner, as you probably know. And so if you ask me to go and run up Abbey Street and come back down again, tomorrow I will be in pieces because it's not something that I do. So my body hasn't adapted to it. Okay. So the reason why that when you go to the gym initially, you'll be quite sore and achy is because you're changing something. The body's doing something it doesn't usually do. But then as soon as, give it 2 weeks, and all of a sudden you will do the same workout and be like, I'm not in pain anymore. And a lot of people then misinterpret that into going, well, I haven't worked as hard.
Yes.
And I don't necessarily think that's the case.
Okay.
So pain is this no pain, no gain thing. Yeah. It bugs me a little bit. But it's one of them.
Okay. But DOMS is actually a normal thing. If 100%. You've not done something, or you change your routine, or you do something new, and
which is why it's important to change a plan. So for instance, you might find that if you go to the gym, take boot camps and classes away for a second. If you go to the gym and you do like a
program for 4 weeks, you're doing the same workout.
After about 6 weeks, you probably want to change it up a bit because your body, by the 6th week, your body is used to doing that. It knows it will create its most effective and most efficient way of doing something. So you won't have the same stimulus as if you change. So for something as simple as a
press up, let's say.
A press up. So if you go, so you start on your knees, and then all of a sudden, it's all right. All of a sudden you go and move your knees back, so then it increases the distance between your knees and your shoulder. Yeah. Then it's harder. Your chest has to work harder. Your triceps have to work harder. Okay. So something like that is a little change that you can do. Okay. But in regards to your original question, I think pain after maybe about a week, maybe 2 weeks, if you've tried other things, if you've tried heat, you've tried ice, you've tried general resting of the area. If it doesn't feel right, then I would say the sooner you get in to see someone, the better. Because it reduces the risk of it getting worse, essentially.
Okay. And what should be the process? Should they be saying, right, okay, first I'm going to come and see a sports therapist or a physio, and or should I be seeing a doctor first? And at what point?
I think it really depends on the issue.
Okay.
So if it's and there's things in our field like red flags. So red flags being something that I'm not able to deal with, and it would be like, I think you need to go down to A&E. I think you need to go and see contact your GP and immediately. But I do think it depends on the injury. It's quite difficult to say which one wouldn't. Yeah, but I would say a general port of call would usually be someone like myself, a physio, a chiro, or these types of professions.
Yeah.
And then it's down to us to go, if we don't feel like we're able to deal with it, then we go, I think you need to go see a GP or
a doctor or a specialist,
consultant, all this type of stuff, and we just refer through. But that's the process that I would probably go down.
Okay, and what's your opinion on chiropractors?
I think there's good and bad in every profession.
Okay.
I think that there's good and bad physios, there's good and bad sports therapists, there's good and bad chiros. And yeah, that's without digging myself a hole.
Because I see a chiropractor,
yeah,
and he says that he finds that often physiotherapists sports therapists struggle with the things. But actually, from what you were saying about the changing of positions and actually holding muscles in certain positions, I would say he agrees with that point, that actually by your muscles have got into that kind of state, and actually if you can change the structure of your body effectively, not structures,
no, but by
change
moving,
it,
by getting out of that
manipulating
position,
it back into its original position, those muscles relax, everything kind of feels a little bit easier to move around.
I think it's the profession that you're taught. So for instance, with chiros, obviously it's more manipulation, and then hopefully advice, education, and a home exercise plan. What I find is, and what really bugs me is, and it's not with a set a profession, but it's when people don't give you other things to do. It's when if a profession says I'll fix it, I don't really think that's the way forward. And it's not as simple as that.
No, I would agree. It's not like you can lose weight from. Well, you can lose weight from just not eating enough, and you can lose.
But it's like a hack, isn't it? Everyone wants a hack.
Yeah, they want the quickest fix.
Yeah, they want that lemon juice that's going to burn every inch of fat that you've got.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. It doesn't work.
No. It's got to be a combination of.
100%. It's so multifactorial that it needs to work. So yeah, I would say, for me personally, I pride myself on giving not just passive treatment, which is massage, manipulation, and stuff, but also given an active treatment, which would be
rehab exercises.
100%. So home exercise stuff. Can you do at home? What can you do at work? Can we change this? Can we do that? And just advice and education. So yeah, like I say, there's good and bad in everything.
Yeah, I think that's right. Advice and education is probably the key to everything, isn't it? So it's the same with like food, same with exercise. You can give a piece of advice, like here is but you hopefully educate them at the same time.
Yeah.
And not everybody's going to
Not everyone wants it.
No, that's right.
100%.
And a lot of people want a quick.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make a drink. It's a
exactly.
perfect analogy.
Exactly.
And you get people in. I get people in that aren't necessarily.
Ben's looking at me like you're one of them, Alex.
that are not concerned. They just almost want me to do it for them, and that's fine. But as long as I'm honest and go, I'm not going to be able to rub you better. Me rubbing your leg doesn't make the quad tear go away anymore.
That's really what we want.
I know.
That's what
Everyone loves a
magic
massage.
hands.
Exactly.
Magic hands.
So yes, I'd be very rich.
You'd be very rich, just like me with a magic pill.
Exactly.
When they walk through the door, I gave them a pill, and then
that's it.
28 days later they walk out.
100%. Perfect.
Maybe we need to start working on this.
Yeah, we'll do that.
We just start like magic hands and magic pills. Awesome. There must be something on the internet, the dark web.
Ooh. Don't. Let's get started.
Okay, so obviously, people come to you. They've said, "Oh, I've got like a dodgy shoulder. Yeah, it's hurting." You make some recommendations. Maybe do this slightly differently at the gym, or do this. How important is it to carry on those rehab exercises at home? And are there things that are there apps or websites or things that you would say, "Oh, these are the kind of places that you should be looking to maybe enhance what I've already given." I've given you these, but if let's say, for example, somebody hasn't come to you and they're just a bit of a sore shoulder, maybe just feel a bit tight or whatever, are there places, what could they do?
So I think in regards to the shoulder injury, I think it's massively important that you continue your rehab, whether that's at a gym setting, at home, even if it's at work. And I think there's a big thing as well that people try to make rehab really complicated.
Yeah.
It doesn't
I think why people don't do it.
Yeah.
Because I think they
think, I have to.
Oh, that's 20 minutes out of a day.
I have to stand on a wobble board with my finger in my ear while singing national anthem. It doesn't. It's not that. It doesn't. That's not how it works. Rehab could be something as simple as go for a walk at your lunch instead of having your lunch at your desk. Move up, go for a walk around the building, something like that. So something like that can be really as simple as rehab. But I think in regards to things that you can do at home and stuff like that. So there are a couple of people that I use. So I'm not sure if there's somewhere that we can put a link somewhere.
Yeah, we can.
But yeah, so we can put a link for, his name's Tom Merrick. So he's on YouTube. So he does a lot of stretching, and he goes through. It's not just a case of just lean forward and touch your toes. He'll go through everything with you and almost educate you into why you're doing it.
Okay.
And I think that's really important as well, is the education of behind why you're trying to strengthen your rotator cuff.
Yeah.
Why you don't really want to be putting it into a painful range when it's already painful.
Yeah.
So things like that. It's just advice, education, and if you can do it the best you can, you're going to recover quicker.
Yeah.
To going back to where you were before.
Okay, cool.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I know that. I'm sure I think it's called GoWOD. It's like I think it's an app. I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it's called that, and it's basically like a stretching program. So you say, I need to stretch my quads, and they'll do like a 5 or 10 minute range of exercises, and you hold them for a couple of like maybe 30 seconds, and then change sides, or it more about, rather than rehabbing, warming up, getting ready 100%. For the workout of the day, which I think is really important. So ladies, if you come into the gyms, rather than maybe chatting, spend 5 minutes trying to do a bit of your own stretching as well.
If I've had someone in that's from FBL, for instance, who has got a rotator cuff problem.
So explain rotator cuff, because that's often one we hear. What is the rotator cuff?
So you've got 4 muscles within your rotator cuff, and they essentially are the muscles that help you to rotate your hands. So I don't know if you can see on camera, but elbows tucked in, hands out to the side, and hands back in.
Yeah.
You've got your rotator cuff that will help you do that. They will also assist when you do other movements as well.
This one as well?
So again, if you're taking your arm out and then you're taking your hand back and down, that's rotation.
Okay.
So it's the muscles that are helping your shoulder to move. So naturally, it's quite a common area to injure when you're doing anything overhead.
Yeah.
And
often when it's too heavy.
Yes, or in a not a correct technique.
Yeah.
There are studies out there at the minute that are starting to show that women, and unfortunately women over a certain age, are more susceptible to injuries in the rotator cuff. It's really unfortunate.
Menopause,
sorry.
Is it linked to menopause?
So it's linked to menopause. It's also linked to diabetes.
Okay.
It's also, it's just
age.
Age. There's so many things that can cause it. So going, it was that. It's really difficult. Mm-hmm. So it's not something that you can generally tend to do. But yeah, so when you're going into your boot, if someone's come in with rotator cuff stuff, 9 times out of 10, and there's a couple of therapists out there that don't really they don't like resistance bands.
Okay.
I love a resistance band personally, but all I'll do is give them a yellow or red resistance band, get them to warm it up, just 30 seconds of external rotations.
Girls, the bands are on the side, you can pick them up.
And get the shoulders warm. And then all of a sudden, when you go into your shoulder press, whether your elbows are out or elbows are in, it's nice. Everything that's stabilising you is nice and warm.
Yeah.
So it should reduce the risk of you causing any pain.
Okay, cool. So warming your shoulders up. Plantar fasciitis.
Okay.
Another common one.
Yes, definitely. Very often over-prescribed as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's not always plantar fasciitis.
So I have had what I believe is plantar fasciitis it's been going on for a long time. I have bouts of it. I have to say, if I have a decent, my hips are good. Mm-hmm. I tend to suffer less.
Yep.
But whether it's the other way round,
but
I tend to find that.
So if I'm
definitely biomechanical. Why do people get it?
No pressure.
I think, what's often common cause of it?
So common causes of plantar fasciitis with plantar fasciitis.
It's like an exam, this, isn't it?
Right.
Jeez.
They would be things like, unfortunately, being overweight is a massive factor, because it's pressure down, and that's the point of contact with the floor.
Yeah.
In your heel. So sort of incorrect footwear, or footwear that's not, it's not best
supporting.
For you.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't think there's such a thing as perfect footwear. No. But for that one person, there is.
I have orthotics, so I find that.
Yeah.
And since I've had them, and I've had them now for about 6 years.
Yeah.
I don't tend to have as many.
So it changes
problems.
the way that the force will go through everything.
But again, people then say on the other hand, you shouldn't wear orthotics, because that doesn't solve. That just is like it's hiding the problem.
Yeah,
I have to say.
Yeah, no, I do understand that, and I get that. Yeah, my analogy always is, if you have lower back pain and sitting in a wheelchair solves your lower back pain, you wouldn't sit in a wheelchair for the rest of your life. You've got to move, you've got to do stuff. But there are things that you can do to calm things down. But if the orthotics allow you to do the thing you need to do, then I'm okay with that. But as long as we're addressing the issue as well.
Ongoing.
Yeah, so other things would be...
Running was what caused mine.
Yeah, so running, again, that high impact. But again, if your hip and your abductors aren't necessarily maybe as strong as we'd want them to be, then it will have a chain reaction.
Yes, which I believe is what actually caused the problem, is actually I had a bad hip, which then caused the problem in the foot. Or the other way
But a lot
around.
of people then will look at you when someone comes in with plantar fasciitis and you go, right, we're going to do some hip work. And they're like, why? Like, my problem's not on my hip, it's my foot. But it works.
It's from the foot up.
Yeah.
From the ground up.
So the knee is a hinge, the knee is a door. The door will only move where you want it to. So yeah, everything else, it has to work. So doing something as simple as, and I know you guys do it, where you put the band around your knees and you do your crab walks. Things like that are perfect for plantar fasciitis, because it will strengthen up the muscles that help to guide your knee, which will then take pressure away from your foot.
Perfect. Okay, so lots of crab walks now,
Lots
girls.
of crab walks.
Crab walks.
Booty bands.
bands.
I love a booty band, mate.
See, Rick hates a booty band. My husband hates them. He's like, nah, I don't like them. I like a booty band.
Yeah.
The girls love a booty
really
band.
Helpful, so
They're very good for your glutes, increasing the...
But even doing something like having that band on and doing your squats.
Yes, totally. To make so you actually work your glutes.
Yeah, so they naturally, the band will support you in.
Yeah.
So you're having to
restrict
that and resist against it, and it will work them.
That's what helps solve some of my problem, I think, is actually using a booty band to do my squats.
Which again is exercise rather than rest.
There you go. That's right. Anything kind of immediate, let's say somebody's got it, it's very painful. Are there any immediate kind of treatment to it?
Okay, so I would be looking at things like...
frozen water bowls.
Yeah, I love a frozen water bowl. But again, with that, I like it generally. But if you're doing that daily or you're doing it hourly and you're really putting that pressure through that muscle and that fascia, and that tendon, then I'm not going to say you make it worse, but you're just going to keep aggravating it, because it's not happy. The best way to look at it is it's just not a happy structure. So if you've got someone that's really angry and you keep poking them, eventually they're going to snap and they're going to go, I don't want to do this anymore. So it's the same concept. I would always go with whatever, if we generally know what would cause, what an aggravating factor would be. So for instance, if we know that we've got plantar fasciitis, we know that any jumping movement is probably going to hurt a little bit. So don't do the jumping movement. I'm not saying don't do it forever.
No.
But just maybe a couple of weeks, calm it down and then build back up to it, rather than just trying to forget about it. So
it's obviously quite hard, isn't it, though, with feet, because obviously you've got to walk, you're on them all the time.
100%. General rule of thumb for me would be deload, reload, and then overload.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
So explain that.
I did nick that from someone else, but yeah.
So explain that in layman's terms.
So you deload it, i.e. take away the thing that's causing the problem. You reload it by changing the stimulus going through that, i.e. so if someone struggles with jumping, for instance, we would get them to do something like single leg standing.
Okay.
Then maybe going onto their tiptoes doing it, so there's more stress through it. Then maybe going onto a tiny hop or a land, and then eventually you can progress up to a jump. Okay. So then all of a sudden they're back to where they need to be. Yeah. And then so that would be the reload. Yeah. And then the overload would be doing something like, like jumping off of a structure somewhere and landing and sticking it. So you're overloading it, so you're strengthening it, so it reduces the risk of it coming back again. Okay. Pretty much. Deload, reload, overload. That's it.
I'm going to remember that one.
Oh, there you go. You can have that.
Thanks.
So yeah.
Okay, so there's some common things that kind of we've kind of talked about. So, I want to say thank you for that, but let's have a quick chat about you. So, Ben's had his own little journey, because obviously we love a journey in Fit Body Ladies.
We do, yeah.
So when I met Ben, his favourite kind of pastime whenever I used to see him was food.
Love a Mackey's, yeah. Loved a
Mackey's,
yeah.
So I'd often go in and see him, and I'd be like, "What have you had today, Ben?" And he'd be like, "Oh, I've been really good today. I've only had," and then he would list off, basically multiple meal deals. Yeah. From across he's got a Tesco's opposite, so there was often a sandwich, packet of crisps.
Yeah. yogurt, chicken.
That was the
that
healthy
was my
bit.
healthy
They're
bit,
the healthy bit.
And then it would go
and then there
downhill from
normally
there.
was a McDonald's at some point
Yeah, not great.
in the day or the
yeah, twice.
So
a day.
what? So that was. You're nice and young though. How old are you?
30.
30. So really young.
Yeah,
Really young.
I think.
But a father of how many?
3.
Father of 3.
Father of 3. So tired all the time.
That's why the Mackie D's was always
Pretty much, yeah.
It's just energy food.
Yeah.
Or false energy food.
Yeah, it gives
Okay.
you the impression
Okay.
that you're full and you're not.
So, what happened and how long ago?
So about 12, maybe 13 weeks ago, So basically, I'm always tired. I'm knackered. Everything was hurting.
Yep.
All my joints were achy. So I thought, you know what? If someone came to me with these issues, what would I do? Go get them to have a blood test, just to rule things out.
Yep.
So I went for a blood test, and the GP was really nice, and sort of said, "Oh, your sugar content or your glucose content is quite high." So the certain index that they used was 42, between 42 and 48.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what, but 42 to 48 was
Well, that was the guide.
the guideline
guidelines,
was
yeah.
that was classed as pre-diabetic. Anything over 48 is diabetic, and I was 38, so I was 4 points off being pre-diabetic. So not drastic.
No.
But come on,
so,
we need to
but
sort
you're
it out.
at your age.
Yeah. So and then also, and we think this is hereditary. Cholesterol was a bit high,
Okay.
and all this type of stuff. So basically, what I heard was stop eating crap. And
Good.
so yeah, so I went.
But again, there was a catalyst. There was
Yes,
something,
there was something that scared me.
that scared you.
So diabetes terrifies me. It really does.
Oh,
just and it is quite it's a big thing.
Is
So,
is it in the family at all? Has anybody else got it? Okay.
No. So it does scare me, and I've treated people in the past that have had it and have got certain issues. So I know.
Yeah, because
the
there
bad
are
side
so
of it.
many things that lead on from diabetes.
100%.
It's not just the fact that every day.
You have to either inject
yeah,
or
exactly.
medication and
It's
stuff like this.
the feet, the problems in the feet,
Yeah.
problems in your
Eyes,
eyes. There are
shoulders,
some.
yeah,
there was
100%. So
lots of
There's
things.
lots of factors. So I then went, cool, that's it. I'm done. I didn't. I cut for the first 6 weeks. I cut out, or 4 weeks. I cut out pretty much everything sugar.
Okay.
So the first 3 days wasn't great. Headaches.
Pure detox.
Yeah, like moody. The
Yeah.
missus didn't like me.
Yeah.
Just wasn't really just wasn't a nice time. But after you got over that bit, yeah, I feel so much better. Like I say, and I've lost. So just by doing stuff like this, so basically.
So yeah. So what? Let's look at like pre the 12 weeks. So let's say 14 weeks ago.
Yeah.
What would have been breakfast?
That's fine. Okay, so
You can't be honest now. Come on.
No, that's fine. So I would have something like a big bowl of cereal,
Cocoa Pops.
Love a Cocoa Pop, or crunchy nut. Or
Okay.
something, basically sugar.
With milk.
With milk. So we're not talking like a normal bowl.
No,
We're talking like a big bowl.
Yeah. Full fat or semi?
No, go healthy.
Okay,
semi
semi.
skin. So yeah.
Because you've just eaten loads of sugar. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. Just sugary milk, yeah.
That's it.
That's
Pretty much.
fine.
Brilliant. And then I'd have maybe, if I was really hungry, I'd have a bit of toast with jam on it, cup of tea with 2 sugars in, all that type of stuff. So all of a sudden you look at it and go, oh, the first meal of the day is a lot of sugar.
Yeah.
And then I would have my lunch, which, like you've mentioned, wasn't great. So something like can of Monster.
Yeah.
Like, I love a mango Monster, but not every day. Okay. And yeah, like sandwich, crisp, bit of chicken, yogurt, 2 chocolate bars. That's just lunch.
Yeah.
And then from there, I would then go and I'd go home and my partner would cook a nice healthy meal because that's what she does. Brilliant. And then I get to about 10 o'clock and I'd be like, oh, I'm a bit hungry. So I think, what can I have? What's in the cupboard? What's in the chocolate drawer? So Terrace chocolate orange, Twixes, Mars,
crisps,
Oreos. I wasn't really like a massive crisp fan.
But it was chocolate.
It was chocolate, and if the kids had some Mawams for their birthday, oh no, they've seemed to have gone away somewhere. So yeah, I'd have a couple of that. So it wasn't great. So now I just basically I cut out.
And so now
all of that.
today, so let's look at like an average day now. You'd be having, say, for breakfast.
So I have some porridge, and
do you have anything in it? Like, do you put anything to sweeten it,
flavour,
like honey or
local natural honey?
Yeah, okay.
So I just have a teaspoon of that. So that just kills that
sugar craving.
Sugar craving. Recently, because I'm trying to up my calories again, I'm now on just a bagel with like flora. Stuff like that. Yeah. And then for lunch, I'll have really boring, but I'm quite a boring person. So I'll have something like mixed vegetables with chicken breast and maybe some rice or some pasta or something like that. And then dinner again, because Nick will cook. She'll cook that. And then instead of snacking at 10, I'll either go to bed. Brushing my teeth was a big one.
Brushing the teeth.
Because then I go, oh, well, I don't want to brush my teeth again.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I always find brushing teeth.
Or
when you get to that like 9 o'clock and you're like,
what can I have?
I'll go. Especially just before you like getting ready for bed, you're like,
yeah.
Biscuit would be nice.
100%. Biscuit of choice?
Oh.
Big question.
Okay, we don't often have biscuits in our house.
Okay.
We don't. We tend to have like cereal bars. But again, if I was going to have a biscuit of choice, a shortbread finger.
Okay,
That's
nice.
Very boring.
No. Tasty.
What would be yours?
Probably a hobnob. Love a hobnob, yeah.
Chocolate,
but only with tea. Like
chocolate hobnob.
Yeah. Silly question.
So I went through a phase. I remember having a phase of being into chocolate digestives, but dark chocolate digestives.
I don't mind a dark chocolate. It's healthy for you.
And then putting peanut butter on it.
Oh, okay.
So it would be like almost like a chocolate peanut.
Yeah, like a Reese's Pieces something.
Yeah.
Don't mind them as well.
Do you remember a while ago? It's definitely a few years ago. I think they still do it, but they do it Milka now. They did Cadbury's Philadelphia.
No, I can't remember.
They did Cadbury's Philadelphia, but they now do Milka Philadelphia, I think now.
Oh, okay.
And I used to buy digestive biscuits.
Oh no! Put that on it.
Yeah, because it was like a cheesecake.
Fair enough.
Like a chocolate cheesecake.
I can see the.
Yeah, see, I love all that sort of stuff. I love a rice cracker with like.
Oh no, I can't do them.
I love a chocolate rice cracker with peanut butter. It's like its own
pancake. Yeah.
What sort of pancake?
Just pancake with Nutella.
Do you know what I've got into? Cottage cheese pancakes.
Cottage cheese
pancakes.
I can't say I've ever had cottage cheese. I'm really, you know me, I'm really boring. I like
you would like these because these are really high in protein, super simple to make. They're 3 ingredients. You need a cup of cottage cheese, a cup of oats, and an egg, and you just blend it.
Oh really?
And then you just make them into little pancakes. They're little ones, and then have it with some fruit and some 0-calorie skinny maple syrup.
Oh, okay.
You can get that in B&M.
Nice. I like that.
Do you like fruit? Do you like berries?
Yeah.
Would you have them on a pancake, or would you have chocolate on a pancake?
If 14 weeks ago I had chocolate, now I'll probably just have the pancake.
Oh, would you?
Yeah, maybe have
just a plain pancake.
Well, maybe put something on it, but I don't know what. Maybe I don't know.
Would you make the pancake or buy the pancake?
Nick would make the pancake.
Okay, so she's made the pancake for breakfast.
So usually, because the kids love Nutella,
so
they'll have.
But you
they'll
can't
slab
have that
it on.
anymore.
No, so I can't have that anymore. So unless it's on a Sunday, and then I can have. Now I've given myself an hour on a Sunday where I can have what I want. But it's hard because
8 pizzas of McDonald's.
So usually what my intention is the moment that fork hits my mouth, the hour
that starts. Yeah.
But if I've got a massive dinner full of like Sunday lunch, by the time I've eaten it, I'm stuffed.
Yeah.
So you get to the end of the hour,
because your stomach's shrinking.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah. Of course.
But I get to the end of the hour and I'm like, I could do with some custard and crumble, but I feel sick. Is it worth it? Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, no, I would say that's what I've done, and it's worked. Like I say, I've lost.
Well, you look amazing. You look really good.
So in 12 weeks, I've lost 11 kg roughly.
So 22, nearly 20.
So yeah, so
nearly
I was
2 stone, basically.
The heaviest I was 17.4, and now I'm 15. I want to say 15.8, 15.9, somewhere.
So
like
nearly that. So it's about 24 kilos.
Yeah.
24 pounds. Sorry, 24 pounds. 11 kilos.
Pounds, yeah. So it's going well.
So the goal is to get to where?
I'm not necessarily fussed with weight now. I'm more concerned with body fat percentage.
Yeah. So what are you at?
23.8.
Okay.
I don't know.
So someone of your age then, what would you be looking at? Trying to get under the 20?
I do want to get under 20. Yeah, anyone's 18 to 20. Yeah, I'd be happy with that.
That's down to nutrition still.
It's down to nutrition. I also think, and as much as I despise running because I'm not a runner, I have started doing not continuous running, but more stuff like high intensity but short duration. So imagine a football pitch. The short parts I'll walk, the long parts I'll run.
Okay.
Something like that. And it's just your heart rate is constantly fluctuating between zone 4 and 2.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're just constantly burning, and if you can do that 3 times a week, again, it's going to work. It's just going to help burn body fat. So that's what I'm looking at. So it's going well.
Excited. And lifting. Back
to the gym. So obviously I've got the luxury of having a gym in where I work. So I use that.
Did you find your energy? So obviously, the reason that you went to the doctors is because you're feeling like energy, achy, etc. Has that changed now? Did it, and then is it kind of settled down? You now this is the norm. Do you think?
Yeah, I would say I have a lot more energy. I'm still tired, but then there's other factors for that.
Yeah, okay.
3 children.
Working full time.
And then sleeping pattern.
What about the aches and the pains and the joints and stuff?
Yeah,
do you find?
Yeah, no, I don't have as much.
Because they've said, haven't they, that sugar is such an inflammatory.
It is, and I think as well, you've got to think. So the best way to look at it is, I was 12 weeks ago. Yeah,
Carrying.
I was holding a 10 kg plate.
Yeah, baby.
Pretty much. So I was holding like that, and now I've let go of that. My knees ache less, my hips ache less, my ankles aren't as sore, my back doesn't hurt as much. So, and you can do more because of that. So it's only a positive. It's not great that it had to be that catalyst to have done it, but sometimes you need that little bit of a kick.
There's studies to show that often a catalyst is what
stimulates you
to make change. Yeah. However, when they looked at people who had a heart attack, there's some crazy stuff. I don't know exactly, but it was something like it stimulates the change, but for those that make the change, only something like 40% ever stick to the change, and the rest go back to
where they were.
I
think it's important that you don't overcomplicate it. And don't get me wrong, what I did for the first 6 weeks was not sustainable.
No, of course.
But that's not why I was doing it. It's not because I was looking, I'm never going to touch sugar again.
No.
Obviously,
you needed to make a drastic change in order to lower that blood sugar.
100%. And then at that point, I can go, so I've got another blood test booked in, so I can compare.
Yeah.
And then I can go from there and go, right, well, now I'm at this level. When we go out for like a family meal, I can have a pudding if I want to. I'm not that
I think it's the quantity.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. There's no, you can't have this. It's just
don't have 3 of them.
Yeah,
pretty much. You can have a Mars bar.
Yeah,
don't have battered
one. Yeah, or one every day.
Exactly.
Have it as your treat.
Yeah,
have it as your treat.
So yeah, that seems to have worked a treat. So yeah,
fantastic. Well, really proud of you. Well done. So fabulous. Thank you very much for coming on today. It's been really good to chat to us. If people want to find out about you, where do they find out about you?
So I'm on Instagram, Facebook. So it's at BG Injury.
And for the ladies who come to the Northampton gym, you already see him on a stretching class
every Thursday and one Saturday a month. So if you have any issues, let me know.
Perfect. All right. Thanks very much, Ben. Have a lovely day.